Shotgun people. This is another cop out here being a freaking tyrant. So I'm kind of irritated at the uploader because he's too stupid to freaking try and get his video out. So I'm not even going to tell you what channel this is on or give you the link. He put a copy of his lawsuit on this freaking, I don't know if any of you guys use this, but this is a bullshit squib.com. So he puts the document here to read his lawsuit, and it gives you like 2 sentences. And then it says you got to freaking try for a 30-day, log in, create, do all this bullshit. I'm like, what's wrong with you freaking people? You do stuff and you want to put it out, and then you do stupid shit like this to where people can't read it. Now, luckily, there was one of his viewers who probably had the same freaking complaint, and he ended up downloading the whole document. So I was able to download the whole document, and I'll put a link to this in the description, not to the dumbass who uploaded it, who can't even get his information out. And he's from freaking Texas, Corpus Christi. But anyway, the cop was wrong, even though the uploader's too stupid to make it easy for people to share his shit. The cop was wrong. And he's suing him, so good for him. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, so this cop, watch how far this cop has to drive to go take a look at this.
I'm going to go over there and have a talk with, right here.
So he's upset that he's being videotaped way back here. He's being videotaped so far away that he has to get in his car and drive to this person. I think I have this sped up just a little bit. Yeah, I got it at 125. So if it sounds like we're talking fast here. Notice how far he's driving to go harass,
What's up?
unlawfully stop, unlawfully detain, unlawfully threaten, tell the guy he's committing a crime. He seizes his phone unlawfully. He takes possession of his phone, and he detains the guy. All unlawful.
Bud? You got ID with you?
Sorry, don't.
You have no ID with you?
No, I'm not in my truck. Plus, stop an ID state. I'm not committing.
No, it is. Do you realize you are in Missouri? It is now illegal to record a police officer. I can seize your phone right now.
Okay, absolutely wrong. Just because a cop says it doesn't make it right. According to these two attorneys in Missouri, it says pretty clear, is it legal to film police officers for police activity, a spotlight, blah, blah. This is not isolated. All 50 states nationwide, you can photograph cops. There's no state that I'm aware of, and if you want to put a link to a law, that says you can't videotape cops. It says you can't interfere with their duties. There's some law that says if you get too close and try to stick a camera in his face, you could be charged with obstruction. But if you aren't interfering with the cop, and interfering with the cop is not videotaping. This cop tries to word twist and say, because he saw his little red light, he was nervous.
As evidence. That's fine.
So
let me see your phone. Go ahead and end it.
Nope.
End it right now. Or I will place you under arrest.
A couple of felonies.
Listen, do you understand what I just said to you? Stop it right now.
This cop's out of control. And this cop's name is... what's his name? Wayne Casey of the city of Pevely?
Do you understand? Listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay,
Stop.
turn it off.
He just assaulted the battery guy. He yanked the phone out of his hand and say he's committing a crime when he is not committing a crime. He was unlawfully detained, and this cop is just making this shit up as he goes. I hope his ass loses his job because this cop is a punk with a capital P.
Stop. Right now. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir. I understand. If the live stream, there's no evidence on the phone. You just turned it off, so there's nothing recording now.
It is illegal in the state of Missouri to film us.
Supreme
Absolutely untrue.
Court's already ruled
No.
against that, sir.
Bull. I'm going to seize your phone
Sir.
as evidence.
So now he's threatening to seize his phone as evidence. It's an unlawful seizure.
Yes, you don't do that.
Oh, I don't care what you suggest.
You don't,
Being recorded right here.
Okay.
Let me see your ID.
You've lost your qualified immunity.
Let me see your ID.
He says he's lost his qualified immunity. Look, cops don't lose their qualified immunity. I'm sorry. The law says they can lose it if they break the law, they're out of policy, or they're not doing it. But you know what? They never remove it. This cop's going to keep his immunity. The city and taxpayers is going to pay out money. They're going to say it was justified. They're going to pay out a lawsuit without admitting fault, and the taxpayers will take it to shorts. And nothing will change until every city and every cop that does this is sued, and we cause them to stop this BS.
Do you understand what I just asked you? Let me see your ID. You're interfering with my traffic stop. Let me see your ID.
I'm on the other side of the street.
It doesn't matter. You're taking my attention away from my traffic stop because now I have to watch over here to see what you're doing to make sure you're not going to harm me. Therefore, you're interfering with my stop because...
Okay, with this cop's explanation that because he's over there, he's got to watch him, what this cop is literally saying, and look, I don't put this past government to try and pass. Any car driving by, anybody getting on a phone, if a plane flies over and distracts this officer, if a light flickers and this business closes down and shuts their lights off and distracts this officer, it distracts him from his traffic stop, and therefore they're obstructing his investigation. That's the logic of this dumbass officer. Out freaking outrageous.
I am now taking my attention away from my traffic stop. Do you understand what I just said? Give me your ID.
But I'm telling you,
Listen, I don't want your explanation. I don't want your explanation. Do you understand that?
Oh, I understand.
Okay then, great. Now do we understand each other?
What a punk.
Here you go.
Stand right here in front of my patrol car. Stand in front of my patrol car. And I'm just telling it, you're not out here asking me questions.
So, he makes him stand in front of his patrol car, which I think is endangering his life and his safety, because drunks always focus on lights and hit cop cars. Even cops are taught not to stand in front of their car. And this guy is placing this guy in danger through an order under threat of arrest. He's basically false imprisoning this guy by restricting his movement unlawfully. This cop is just way out of control.
Did you understand that? Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay.
That's my opinion.
I don't care what your opinion is. All right?
What a punk. Now, this cop knows he can't arrest him and he can't do anything. You're going to watch the end. He's going to come out and practice the old verbal judo. I'm going to sell this stop and make this guy scared that I was lawful and I'm cutting him a break. I'm doing him a favor by letting him go. Great tactic of cops. I'll scare you, I'll threaten you, and then I'll make you think I did you a favor by letting you go.
Do you know what a felony is in the state of Missouri from being from Texas? I don't think so, okay?
You don't have it.
Oh, so everybody from Texas don't know shit.
What did you say?
You committed federal felony.
No, there is no...
Civil rights violation.
Right.
Oh, look at his little screensaver. He's got police with mirror glasses. Oh, he's such a thin blue line cop kind of guy. Oh. I'm bumping it to kind of get through this.
Where? Which one? Because I asked you where your vehicle is.
So again, an intimidation technique of cops. I'll harass you. I'll make you feel stupid. I'm going to talk down to you. I'm going to show you who's in control, who runs this freaking world, who the tyrannical government is, and who the pesky citizen is. Is anybody confused on who the tyrannical government and who the pesky citizen is?
Which one? 8 trucks back. Here's the deal, bud.
Here's the deal, bud. Now we're going to be friends. Now I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to cut you a solid, bro, because I'm such a good guy. I done lied to you. I've detained you. I've treated you like shit. I've seized your phone. I've threatened to take you to jail. I've threatened to seize your phone and take your phone away, which is probably how you conduct business, which means I'm taking away your livelihood. I've threatened you with all that. Now we're going to be buds.
You have no idea what's going on out here, okay?
I have absolutely no idea.
Exactly.
No
So
interest
you
in
have...
interfering.
Listen. Stop interrupting me. Let me talk. When we're conducting a traffic stop, a well-known drug dealer...
I kind of figured that. So
Okay.
With a well-known drug dealer. Ooh, the well-known drug dealer was so dangerous that this cop was able to leave to come harass this guy. Do you see the inconsistencies and what really drives me nuts when cops do this? I was in fear of my safety, but I was looking around and I was eating my donut and I was doing other things and I was arguing with you, but I was in fear of my safety. When actions and words don't match, I was on a traffic stop, dangerous traffic stop, well-known drug dealer, and it was your fault for videotaping me. Really? This was an intimidation, harassment, unlawful, horrible contact.
I didn't make her do that. She did that all on her own.
I have nothing against what you're doing.
But you're out here trying to record us and trying to act like you know the law. What did I just say about interrupting me, bud?
Trying to act like you know the law. So now, not only am I going to lie to you about the law and commit all these violations, I'm going to call you an idiot and tell you don't even know the law when I don't even know who you are. This guy could be an attorney. You don't know.
Am I letting you talk when you talk? Let me talk. Let me explain things, okay? You're over here trying to act like, you know, you're one of them guys that want to quote the laws to the cops and act like you know everything.
Want to quote the laws to the cops. Well, somebody needs to do some quoting to your dumb ass because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Act like all this, I committed federal felony. There's no such thing. You don't even know what you're talking about, bud. All right? I've done nothing wrong.
Actually, a violation of civil rights is a federal felony.
I'm well within my rights to do my job. Like I said, you're over here interfering with my stop because now I see you over here. I see something, a red light flashing at us occasionally. I don't know if that's a laser. I don't know what that is.
Oh, so now the officer's trying to explain on camera and justify his fear. He didn't say that when he came over. That's not why he came over. While he was sitting in the car, he's thinking, okay, how can I turn this into an officer safety issue? Oh, I saw a red light on camera and I thought it was laser. Well, then you're a fucking idiot because you can't tell the difference between a red light and a red laser.
There was some sort of red light coming off of your phone. I saw it several times. That's what caught my attention over here, okay? That's what caught my attention over here. So therefore, you are now interfering with my stop because now I have to take my attention off of this stop to watch you and see what you're doing.
Oh shit, you see that car driving back there? Man, this cop's gonna go get him next because those lights distracted him and now he had to take his attention off unlawfully detaining this guy and he's gonna go get this guy. See how easy tyrannical governments get a little bit of power and how easy it is to abuse it?
To make sure that you're not sitting over here with a weapon that's going to hurt me or my partner or the people that we have stopped over here.
Ooh, he could have had a weapon. All right, we got to get the keywords out. Could have been a weapon. Dangerous. Officer safety. Dangerous job. Really dangerous. I was severe of my safety.
I don't know you. I don't know what you're doing over here. That makes sense to you?
Oh, what you're saying makes sense. I don't agree.
It doesn't matter if you agree or not. Okay? That's what you're doing. Now, I can seize this phone if I want to.
Now I'm going to chastise you again and make sure you know that I'm doing you a favor. I'm a nice guy here. I'm just trying to protect and serve the shit out of you. I'm doing you a favor by not taking your phone. He has no authority to take that phone. He'll look like a damn idiot if he does.
Get a search warrant and search it for any evidence pertaining to my traffic stop if you would like me to do so.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's never written a search warrant in his life. I guarantee you. If he's talking about getting a search warrant for a phone because you were videotaping me across the street and I was fearful, ain't no DA and no judge going to approve no damn stupid ass warrant like that. This guy's never written a search warrant in his freaking life.
Then I would suggest, it doesn't matter. It's still on your phone somewhere, somehow.
Actually, he's wrong. When you're live streaming, there is nothing on the phone. The only thing you're going to find is the app on when he activated the app to live stream. There is no video evidence on there. There's only evidence that he was live streaming. But he doesn't even know how to write a damn warrant. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's just making his shit up as he goes.
It is how it works, bud. Okay? I would suggest you get back in your vehicle. Let us do our job. We have more.
So now he's going to suggest. A few minutes ago, he's going to arrest him. He's going to seize his phone. He's going to do a search warrant. He's going to take him to jail. And now, I'm going to cut you a solid, bro. I'm going to suggest you get in your car because I'm a nice guy. I'm from the government. I'm here to help you.
More than enough officers over here? What's that?
I had no intention of interfering.
But that's what you were doing.
And your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. That is, by statute, what you were doing. You took my attention off of my traffic stop. I now had to take my attention and turn it towards you.
Oh no, somebody just honked their horn. You hear that? He's going to go harass that guy for taking his attention off this guy. And watch the road back here. This car's driving by that's distracting his attention. He's going to go chase them later.
Interfering with what I'm doing over there. I would suggest you get, I don't care what you agree with or disagree with. I would suggest you get in your vehicle, bud. Have a good night.
Bud, have a good night. I just showed you who's boss. I just trampled all over your rights. But, Bud, I'm going to cut you a break.
We have more than enough officers over here that know what we're doing.
And I wasn't trying to interfere.
But
wasn't on her
you
side,
were.
Wasn't on
But
their
you were.
side, just watching.
But you were. That's what you're failing to
Oh, those
understand.
cars are distracting me. Go get them, officer. They're distracting you.
I'll let you know. Is that what you just did was illegal.
What?
I'm not going to do anything against you.
What was illegal?
Unlawful detention, unlawful seizure,
I-
violation of First Amendment rights. Supreme
First
Court's-
Amendment rights?
Yes, sir.
How
First
did I?
Amendment freedom of the press.
No.
You seized my phone.
Yeah.
You illegally detained me. You illegally
No, I
detained
didn't
me.
illegally detain you.
You have no
Yes, he did.
RAS of a crime.
No what?
The Supreme Court's already ruled that obstruction, interference.
It's a crime here in the city of Pevely.
I'd have to be close to you.
No,
to
you don't.
actually
No.
for it to actually-
Nope. Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
it is.
No.
And even
Do you
if-
realize the distance a rifle could shoot?
Yes, but
Yeah.
guess what?
Therefore, so I don't.
Isn't-
So now the officer, a few minutes ago, he was distracting him. Then he had a red light that could have been a laser and scared his eye. Now he could have had a rifle. Man, this is what cops are just making up shit. And you know why they do this? Because they can. Nobody calls them on it.
Is it constitutional carry state?
It doesn't matter. If you have a weapon
No,
pointed at me, that's not legal. That is not legal. If you have a weapon pointed at me, that is not legal.
You don't have any RAS.
Did I pat you down? I don't know if you got anything on you.
I don't. But on the other hand, it wouldn't be.
Well, that kind of blows your theory there, Mr. Blue Thin Line, that if you were so freaking scared and he had a laser, why didn't you pat him down? If he was such a threat to you, why didn't you pat him down? Because you knew damn well you were just over there to show him who's boss. You were going to teach him a lesson. You were going to put that badge into use because it's got all that power attached to it. And nobody can do anything to you because you're the government. And you got the power. And you got the backing. And you aren't held accountable. Absolutely outrageous. According to the document, when he took his phone, he started... after he turned off the live stream, he began scrolling through his phone, viewing its contents. That is a search. That is an unlawful search, and it is an unlawful seizure in the first place. Not only did he unlawfully seize the phone, he unlawfully searched it. Remember, the only way you search is through exigency, consent, or a warrant. And this cop had none. They're basically going through their conversation on how many times the cop was full of shit. So after he seized his phone, he was told that it was a violation under 1983, and Casey replied to cop, "There's no such thing." Which, again, all these little comments prove that the officer not only doesn't know the law, he's making it up. He's under the color of authority doing all this, and he's committing several violations because they'll say it's lack of training, failure to train, failure of the agency to train, failure of the agency to supervise, failure to ensure that the people out there understand the law that they're enforcing. This is all going to go back on the agency, and they are going to lose this. So here's where they get into all the words on what the cop did. The plaintiff was engaged in a constitutionally protected recording traffic stops. The defendant, the dumbass officer, threatened the plaintiff that he would continue recording. He would arrest him, take his camera. He prevented him from exercising his First Amendment right. Defendant, this is the officer, intentionally, it was an intentional act. He drove over there. Knowingly, maliciously, he had no lawful intent or backing at all. Recklessly and unreasonably and or gross negligence prevented the plaintiff from recording a traffic stop and police officers without a warrant or any lawful basis. That's the gist of the case. Absolutely going to win. Oh, they're saying the officer, good. Whoever did this lawsuit, good. So after he prevented from doing this, they're saying that Casey detained the plaintiff First Amendment rights to record onto the officers in retaliation for this protected conduct. That's good legal wording. The conduct of the suspect or the plaintiff was protected by the Constitution, and the defendant intentionally, knowingly, maliciously detained, etc. Retaliatory against him. This whole contact was retaliatory. Was motivated by protective speech. Yeah, this guy's going to lose. I will put a link to this if you want to read the whole thing. Normally, let me get down to conclusion. Okay, so, and again, I haven't read this, so I'm pausing it to go read it right now. Officers acting under the color of authority, intentionally, all this is great. Violations 42 USC. Plaintiff incorporates so this is against the city, what they're claiming the city. A municipality is liable under 42 USO if the acts have violated a person's rights to its policies, practices, or customs. The fact that this officer did this on video camera tells me that he thinks he's authorized to do it. He thinks he's doing nothing wrong, and he did it as a common practice and customs of normal business. Let's see, constitutional rights. This custom that prohibits traffic stops, police officers engaged in criminal activity. I think the officer was engaged. This is still against constitutional rights, alternative. Here we go. In alternative times, the defendant did not, in fact, have such policy in place, but failed to properly train, including supervising officers, thereby demonstrated deliberate indifference. Another case law. If you go over my case law video, I talk about deliberate indifference that agencies get caught up in, meaning they don't care, they don't make policy, and they allow their officers to do whatever they want. Adequately supervise and train. All these are good case law cases that they're going to lose. Now, when they say pray for relief, I used to always take out pray for relief. I didn't like it. Back in the day from the British, warrants were like, you have to pray for relief. I never did get that wording. When I did my warrants, I took out, I wasn't praying for relief. I wasn't praying to the judge. I wasn't praying to anybody. I'm conducting a warrant. I'm asking for permission to search, and I want a judge to review it and give it to me. I'm not praying to anybody for that. But let's see. Here's what they're asking for. Full, fair, compensatory damage to be determined by a jury. Good. Punitive damages. Punitive damages means the officer has to pay. The agency cannot pay. Juries need to slam him with about $200,000 punitive damage. And then officers, when they start getting hit with punitive damages, they'll stop. Because they'll start taking that money out of their retirement fund. They'll start taking their house and doing other things. Now, cops are always told they're going to lose their house in the academy and you shouldn't do this. Never has any cop ever in the history of police lost their house because of their unauthorized, unlawful, or outrageous conduct. Never. So why do cops act the way they do? That's why. Jury demand. They demand a trial by jury. Good. And they want all the attorney fees, etc. Here's a contact for the police agency. So here's the little police agency's website. And here's our phone number. Contact. Dispatch. Dispatch looks like it must be a pretty small agency because that's all dispatch. Here's their fax number. Here's their address. I would think this chief needs to be bombarded with some calls about the unprofessional and lack of knowledge that his officers are. That's a pretty nice building they got in their picture there. City Hall, police. Ooh, that's a nice building. Nice patch. Oh, look at that American flag. I'm surprised they don't have a little blue line in there. But anyway, all right, we'll end that there.